Welcome to Video Village, where imagination meets conversation. Keep the phones on and join the discussion. Yes, that means you on the train, so unlock your mind and enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to episode 22 of Video Village. I'm your host Connor, and today I'm joined by my magnificent co-host Wayne.
Hello everybody, how are we doing?
And our fantastic producer Dave.
Hello everybody.
Dave's the real MVP today, folks. But today's episode is to kick off the spooky season that is Halloween. So we've decided to start it with a villain bracket. So who's the best villain? Isn't that what you said, Dave?
Who's your favorite villain?
Just in general, or
Yeah. Because we go through a lot of different genres here, so the best is very subjective. But
no, we can pick
the ones
that
stand out to you, being like, they were really good.
Yeah, well, I mean, our opinion and what's right is kind of the same anyway, right? So
and that is why Wayne is a magnificent co-host.
If you want to slate Wayne down in the comments there, go ahead.
Hit me with your best.
Come on, hit me with your best shot. Fire away. So this is how we decided to kick off the Halloween theme of this month. So pretty much just a heads up, pretty much all the next episodes are going to be some way spooky based or Halloween based. We got some Halloween drafts coming at you, and then there's a few more things in development that we haven't fully decided on yet, but you will be the first to know when it airs. But yeah, I believe Dave has our bracket set up, so
I do.
Do you want to throw it in and see who we pick to be our favorite villain of all time?
Okay, so we got 16 peoples. Well, not peoples.
Okay. Monsters.
Characters. Right, so the first one.
Okay.
Thanos.
Ooh, starting off with the big one.
Yeah.
Versus
the shark from Jaws.
Yeah.
I think his name is Bruce, isn't it? If I'm not wrong.
No, it's Thanos.
The shark didn't have a name unless they gave it one as a joke.
Maybe.
Oh, Jesus. What would you name the shark? If you had to pick a name, what would you name the shark from Jaws?
Finn.
Finn is great. I love Finn. That's a really good one. I was thinking like Toothy or something, like really, really bad in comparison.
Or Gil. That works too.
Gil. Yeah.
No, I was right.
Pretty solid.
Yeah, they named him Bruce.
Named him Bruce.
Bruce the shark.
Fair enough. So Thanos or Bruce?
It's also the big shark from Shark Tale, isn't it? Isn't he Bruce?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. So that's why they named him Bruce from Shark Tales.
Probably, yeah, that could
or
be it, yeah.
not Shark Tale, Finding Nemo.
Oh, yes. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to slate Dave down in the comments, folks.
Yeah.
And give us your best shark name too, if you're listening. Or
yeah,
watching.
what would you call that shark? But anyway, so we need to do this. Thanos versus the shark.
I mean, what are we comparing them on? Like,
we can build a list of criteria now.
Okay, so most menacing, I suppose, should be the top thing on the list.
Yeah. But what does that really mean?
Whose ideals were trying to cause the most havoc, I suppose. That's what I would believe menacing to be.
So yeah, who would the most destructive maybe?
Yeah. Personally, I'd say Thanos should win this one because the shark was just doing what sharks do, whereas Thanos was going out of his way to do what Thanos was doing.
Yeah. He would, but I don't think just because the shark didn't have maybe like a sense of
a motive.
Yeah, or like a sense of what's right and wrong. Just because The shark doesn't make him any less scary. Kind of makes him
Oh,
more
no.
scary in a way.
No. Sharks, like I'm. If I go out into the water, I'm like, oh, I hope Thanos doesn't get me.
Yeah.
That's never an issue on my mind.
Yeah, so I don't think just like the fact that the shark is just doing what it's naturally doing. I don't think that helps in any way. It doesn't comfort the situation at all. Like, so I just wouldn't use that point.
But sharks physically couldn't like eat half a half a world, let alone half a galaxy.
Oh yeah.
You know, so Thanos' scale of.
But this is it. There we go. But I'm not looking at by numbers. You know, like if we pick a villain here who had one victim, they're still as much a contender as someone else. You know, it's more of in the confines of the story they're in. We have to look at it. And in Jaws, the shark was terrifying. Like even.
But he absolutely was. To be fair, but if you were to look at it in the sense of Jaws, was the shark really the villain of the piece? Like the people were just trying to kill this shark who was just trying to do his thing. You know, he was literally born to do this. So were the people really the villains in Jaws?
No.
Just
talking about.
It's such an odd take.
No, I know you're trying to like play both sides. I play devil's advocate, but that's a load of utter nonsense. Like that's just.
I mean, the shark was just sharking. You know, Thanos.
Yeah,
you know,
no, he
Thanos
was.
being...
Yeah, he absolutely was. That's what sharks do. But no, that's it was the worst shark in the world. Sharks don't normally act like they don't kill that many people. But
apparently hippos kill more people than sharks in a year.
Yeah, they probably do. The teeth they have. But
they're fast too, though.
But back to your point with Jaws, like the people that didn't act the way they should, like the mayor and stuff that were just reckless in keeping the beach open. They're definitely villains to the piece too. But the shark is the number one of the whole story.
Maybe the shark paid them off.
But yeah, but let's talk about Thanos too, because that insane and just the way he was built up for 10 years worth of movies. We knew this guy was coming, and even and like I think in most cases where you have a character built for that long and then you get them, it's always a letdown. But for some reason, Thanos was able to just like bury past anyone's expectations of what was to come and just blew everyone away. We're like, oh my god, that was insane.
Yeah.
And this really is one of the best villains of all time. It really felt like that watching it, didn't it?
No, totally. Like, 100%. Thanos was just on another level in comparison to all the other villains up until that point in the Avenger movies in particular, rather than standalone films in the MCU.
Yeah.
You know, like Ultron was just trying to better himself, and Loki was just trying to he was really just trying to tick off Thor at the end of the day.
Well, Loki was just an upset boy, like a little kid. Like,
yes,
you know what I mean? And he just never grew. He never grew out of it. Like, so that's Loki.
No. Yeah, but Thanos just set the stage for something massive. And to be fair, they haven't been able to top Thanos since.
No, they haven't, not in the MCU. And I think another thing we look at with villains is like, can you remember, or is there one moment where you remember that villain and you kind of get chills? And we remember the moment. I all I have to say is the words, "You should have gone for the head." If you don't get tingles down your back, you know, that moment will always forever be just iconic movie gold. The snap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in fairness to Bruce from Jaws, his most memorable scene for me was when that woman was swimming in the lake, and you just see him kind of dun 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 dun, and then she starts thrashing around, moving around, and then all of a sudden she's gone. That was really it for me for Bruce. Like.
Yeah, and just to compare, because you mentioned the music, like what Josh Brolin did for Thanos as the actor is equal to what John Williams did for the Shark and Jaws. Because there's no actor, so John Williams nearly played the role with the music. Because that music does a lot of work to scare.
It really does. Yeah, and it's not even like it does get more extravagant as the piece goes on, but the dun dun, so simple. Like it's literally the basics of music.
Yeah.
And he just used it so effectively. Like everybody knows what that theme song is when you hear it. Like
yeah, you know exactly what the movie is. Yeah.
Fact. And you know not to be in the water when you do hear it.
Get out. But yeah, I think it's
apparently when the
go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt, but when the Titanic went down, that's what the band were playing when the ship was sinking.
Wait, what?
It's a complete joke. I was messing with you.
I was like,
but imagine the ship going down and you just hear from the 4-piece orchestra sinking in the ship with it.
Okay, I didn't get the joke there, but that would have been scary. It's been a pleasure playing with you, gentlemen. Dun, dun, dun.
and yeah, it's that. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway,
yeah. Do you have an answer, lads?
I want to say Thanos.
Yeah. I think it has to be Thanos. I wanted to give the Shark and Jaws its time, but yeah, I think it is Thanos. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like nothing to the Shark and Jaws. It's just he went up against one of the most powerhouse villains of all time. You know.
Yeah.
I would have said the same thing if it was Vader. If you put Vader and Thanos together, then that would be a bigger debate, I think.
It's probably coming.
Yes. No, Dave.
Yeah, shut up. Okay.
Oh my God, spoilers.
Oh, God. All right, next roundup.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Scar from The Lion King.
Okay.
And Annie Wilkes from Misery. Am I saying that right? Wilkes?
Yeah, it's Misery. Yeah.
Wilkes.
Yeah, Annie Wilkes. Yeah.
Annie
Wilkes.
Wilkes.
Kathy Bates.
Yeah. Kathy Bates.
Ooh. That's kind of tough.
It is, because they're two completely different characters, and obviously, and I don't just mean that one's a human, one's a lion. Like if Scar was a human brother to a king, like they're still just completely separate to Annie Wilkes in Misery.
If you wanted to compare it, it'd be like the brother from Hamlet.
Yeah,
really, at the end of the day. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like Scar, in the sense of evil, like he killed his own brother just to take over the pride.
Not only killed his own brother, but framed his nephew for the murder.
And framed his nephew like that. Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
That's great villain material right there. Like, and then he also threatened Simba to run away as well. Like, so he also persuaded Simba that this was his fault. His father's passing was his own fault. So not only did he try to convince the mother that the son killed the father, he convinced the son that he killed his father. You know, that is just corrupt on so many levels.
But isn't that also Scar's dumbest move? Letting Simba run away. And I know he sent the hyenas all go after kill him, and then they kind of let him run away and pretended to Scar that he was there. But still, Scar just follow through, dude. Like, I know it's a kids movie and all, but like, what do you expect? Yeah. These hyenas are bumbling idiots, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's dead." Yeah, you don't even ask to see the body. Like, you didn't ask for a head. Like, what the hell? You really
amateur
let
hour
himself down.
or what? Like,
yeah. So.
No, totally agree. Like, that was his biggest mistake. Because, like, what was he expecting? Like, he saw Mufasa, so, like, Simba was going to be at least roughly the same size as him. And, like, by the time Simba's fully grown and at that age, like, Scar would have been a lot older, a lot more fragile.
Which he was.
In his elderly age. Yeah. And, it's just a rookie move. Just such a rookie move.
Yeah, I don't think he wasn't really much of a villain. He was just a sarcastic, moody.
Narcissist.
Yeah, I don't think he never really did much, but I think he saw his moment there. I think.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was his first crime, killing Scar. Like, I don't think he was that there was that much from to be like. I don't think he did that much. He just laid around and kind of like, oh, I should be king. You know, that was Scar. Like,
Didn't even try to rob anybody like before. Just like warm up.
well, he's
just went
the
straight
king's
for-
brother. Like, what's he gonna rob?
Yeah.
Straight for homicide.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But who else are we
yeah.
talking about? Annie Wilkes, Misery.
Yeah.
What a creepy lady.
Yeah. And like she did it so well. Was it Kathy
Bates, yeah. I think she won an Oscar
Bates?
for that.
Yeah. Oh, easily. Well earned.
Yeah.
Like, cause she the way she progressed. She didn't start out evil. She started out as a nice lady helping this guy. Or her favorite author.
Or
of
so
her
we're
favorite
meant to
book.
believe at the time, yeah.
Yeah, of course. But then the way she kind of evolved and started showing her true self throughout the whole piece, like it was just.
But that creepiness was always
So
there from the
maniacal,
start. Do you know, when she was being nice, you always felt it was like, oh, well, yeah, this girl is being nice, but it's like, I feel like there's maybe there's a screw loose there somewhere. But yeah, she was being nice, and then it just escalates, and then he's like, oh, I'm kind of healthy now, I want to go, and then bang, her leg is broken. Like,
Yeah.
it just
That scene was
that
rough.
scene. It's horrible.
Oh,
But it
just
just
so good.
because when you get like it never feels like you're rushed to that moment. It builds so patiently, and then by the time you get there, it just feels natural. Like, yeah, this woman probably would do this. Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie from that point, it's like the intensity of it is crazy. And just seeing like, what is she going to do? This poor man, he can't walk. How is he going to get out of this house? And
Yeah.
It's a creep fest of a movie, to be fair.
Yeah, no, she's really good. And like that's a very dark thing to be doing, to be kidnapping your favorite author to get him to rewrite your book, like.
But she encapsulates some, because I think there are so many people like that, like reclusive people that don't leave their house that much. To say, it's like that was back in the 80s and 90s, but it's probably even increased nowadays with the internet and social media. We have people just living in their own house with their favorite book or their movie or TV show, and they just get obsessed with these fictional characters, and that's their whole world. And then when the creator of one of those characters is, in a car wreck close to their home, like, what is going to happen with this person? Like, their whole world is just going to light up, and it's like, yeah, you're coming back to my house, you're never leaving. Like, you can, like, when you play it out like that, you can see where she was coming from, and it's just creepy as hell.
She just thought it was fate, She
Yeah.
just like, I'm his biggest fan, and he's outside my house, kind of thing. This has to be fine. This has to be okay. Like the Lord wouldn't have done this for me if he didn't want this to happen. Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
like, what are the chances? Do you know what I mean? It's like, something like that happens, you're like, well, there was no chance this could ever happen, but it did. So yeah, it must be destiny. Someone is making this happen for me. And
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just, and then that just justifies everything she does in her head.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, creepy.
I think just that, it adds such a level of creepiness to it. Like Kathy Bates again was amazing in that film. Like,
Yeah,
if you haven't seen it, anybody listening, go check out Misery. I know it's an old enough film, but like, you will not be let down by Misery.
No, but I wouldn't watch it. If you're looking for something happy, don't. But it's one of those weekend movies. You're going to need the next day to yourself, right? You're going to need that free. Turn off the lights, lock yourself up in a blanket, and just hope you're okay after it.
I'm looking for a happy movie. Oh, this one called Misery. That should be.
Yeah. Well, no one ever said, I need a pick-me-up. Where's Misery on?
Annie Wilkes sure did.
Oh, no. Okay, so between Scar and Annie,
I'd probably give it to Annie Wilkes.
I was thinking the same.
after what
just
we've-
because
discussed there. Yeah.
Yeah, the level she actually went to, like Scar didn't follow through, Annie bloody followed through.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And
she was committed to the bit.
The performance tips her over, like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the best villains out there, to be fair. Yeah, we'll say Annie Wilkes, Dave.
Cool. I have a hard one for you now. Well, I probably
Jeez.
wouldn't be hard, actually. I don't know.
Okay.
I'll put it to you and see how you get on with it. We got Norman Bates
Oh.
Okay, from Psycho.
versus the Joker.
Oh.
Heath Ledger, Joker.
Heath Ledger's Joker, yeah.
We talk. I'll say it from the start. I'm not torn here at all. But we go through both. Yeah.
Choice. Let's start with Norman. I mean, you know, he. To be fair, now this said the both of them have some psychiatric needs that need to be taken care of.
Yeah.
First and foremost, they're both very high up on the old scale there. To be fair, but yeah, like Norman, you know, he did what he felt like he needed to do, and in his head, he did everything what he needed.
Yeah, I think Norman knew he was kind of messed up. I think when you watch it back, he's like, he knew, but he just went along with it anyway. But what I will say about Norman Bates is that he opened the door for many more characters like that to come in the future, and for more stories like that, because it was brand new at the time. No one had seen anything like this, and the fact that like you would not have expected his character to do what he went on to do in the movie. Like the first half of the movie, I can't remember the actress's name. I think it's Vivian Lee. She plays like the main character of Psycho for up until the halfway point, and then she gets murdered shockingly. But up until that point, like it's kind of a weird, maybe romantic thing. Like she's there in this motel, and Norman Bates is just this real shy, awkward guy, and you think, oh, maybe that's where it's gonna go. It's gonna be like a romantic story between the two, maybe. But then it's like she gets murdered, and it's like, what the hell is happening? Like, it's just insane. So I think for what it did to cinema and for the future of it, he definitely gets married for that.
Yeah, definitely helped pave the way there. To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally agree with what you said. And then the man just needed help, and he didn't get it in time.
That's it.
Jeanette Leah.
Jeanette Leah.
Jeanette Leah. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. But then
But shall we
I
talk
don't
about?
really have much more.
Yeah, let's just talk about the
Much
real
more to say.
the winner of this one, the Joker.
Yeah. Well, one of the darkest and best thought out versions of the Joker
Yeah.
in up to date. Like, you know, I know Joaquin Phoenix is currently doing a Joker, but he's nothing. He's a totally different character in comparison to what this Joker is.
That's much different. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Heath Ledger just matched Christian Bale's energy toe for toe in that entire film, if not overshadowing Christian Bale as Batman for that role. Like,
Yeah. I think what it did for me is because I always thought of Batman as the brawny, just beat him up guy, which he kind of is. But like when I was growing up, that's always what he was. I knew who the Joker was, and that the Joker was always in the cartoons and stuff, and that was the Batman villain. But still, anytime you saw Batman in action, he was just beating up bad guys and punching them, and that was what he was. Like, so when the movie The Dark Knight came out, we were watching that, and I was like, well, what's gonna be the big fight? Who's Batman gonna beat up at the end? And it was the Joker, but it was this like psychological torment, and it's like that's how you go up against Batman. You're not going to beat him with brawn. You're going to beat him by just messing with his head, and that blew me away. I was like, oh my god! It's like that's the way you go. Yes, that's how you beat him, and that's the battle that Batman had to overcome, and then on top of the Heath Ledger performance, which just like elevated it to a higher level altogether, but that was it for me. The fact that it was the psychological torment going up against the brawn. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like the Joker is Batman's greatest villain because of those reasons. Because he knew that in hand-to-hand combat, like he couldn't hold his own against the Batman, so he had to do other ways. And like, if you've seen any of the comics or some of the darker animated films, what the Joker actually does to him just falls so hard in line with Christopher Nolan's Batman. There was one comic there where the Joker kidnapped Dick Grayson or one of the Robins at the time, and he brainwashed them into being Joker Jr. pretty much and being the son of him and Harley Quinn.
Jeez.
It was dark, and just Heath Ledger's Joker kind of brought that for me for that film, that he was like, this guy is dark. Like, he's making people pick whether or not to blow each other up, or making Batman think he has to take down a whole building of bad guys when it's actually just hostages tied up to make him look like bad guys. Like, he really made Batman stress the hell out and mess with his head, as he said. Like, and Batman's supposed to be one of the greatest detectives of all time, but the Joker is one of the greatest villains for those reasons. Like,
that's why he's such a good villain, because he offers like everything that Batman is not prepared for. Batman is prepared for the biggest, toughest bad guy to come swing at him, but he's not prepared for the kind of torture that the Joker brings, and that's why they're such a good match.
I think he just doesn't see where the Joker's gonna go. He can kind of predict the outcomes of the other villains.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to the Joker, like, he's like, okay, I think he's gonna go and do this, and then Joker just 180s the whole thing, and then he's like, oh crap, I was not prepared for this at all.
Because he doesn't want anything, the Joker.
No, he's just...
That's what I mean. So there's nothing you can do. There's like, you can't do anything. He's like, it's fine, I'll just do something else crazy. Like, you can't get to him.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing. And Batman doesn't want to kill him. But Joker is basically telling him, that's the only way you can stop me. It's like...
It was so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
That relationship throughout time has been amazing.
Yeah.
And I think Christopher Nolan did a great job with selecting those two actors for that role. Like.
Oh, yeah.
But as for this bracket, it's hands down the Joker.
It's gotta be the Joker.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Are you sure? I don't know.
Actually, you know what? No,
Okay, so I have one here. It's a villain that doesn't come up too often. It's from 101 Dalmatians.
No way.
Cruella de Vil.
Oh yeah.
And I'm talking about the 1961 film, the animated.
The animated, yeah.
Well. Yeah. I'm not talking about anything else when I think of that movie.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fair.
It's probably a bad pairing, but I put it up against the T-1000.
What?
From Terminator 2?
Yeah.
Why? What made you just look at the list and go like, yeah, those two will go good together?
Honestly, I was looking at it, I was like, it doesn't really fit with any of the rest of them here at all.
I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight here, Connor, and I'm going to fight for Cruella. I'm gonna sit on that hill, and I'm gonna. Yeah, that's what's happening.
No, I'm right there with you. I'm sorry if you're looking for a fight there, but like.
Oh, I thought you were saying. I thought you were saying the T1000 or the T2000 or T1000 was going to. I thought you were saying that was going to be the runaway winner.
No.
No, okay, then I'm right with you. Then, yeah.
I didn't. If I said that, I didn't apply. But no, she tried to kill puppies. That's like top tier worst thing you could possibly do in my mind. Like,
she wants to make clothes.
Who cares about Sean Connery? It's like, let him die over if Sean Connery's are 100 puppies. Like, I'm picking 100 puppies. Like,
I did not see you going there at all. Yeah, because normally the T1000 is like a really cool villain. I would always, do you know what I mean? The fact that you've picked that one and not the Terminator. I am right in that. Like, you picked the T1000. That's the Terminator 2 one where he comes through the bars.
Yeah,
Like the
that's the
liquid.
liquid guy.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
think it's
fact-
T800 is Arnold Schwarzenegger one, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Yes.
So I'm assuming you're
yeah,
not
I think it
picking
is.
2 Terminators for this bracket. I imagine you picked one for the.
I picked one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's you've picked, and that's how good of a villain the T1000 is, that he knocks Arnie's Terminator off the list. And the fact that we're going to say that Cruella de Vil wipes the T1000. But yeah, that's where I am with it. Like, because she's an evil, evil bitch.
Yeah, she really is, and I think a lot of it for me is because she would have been one of the first villains being introduced to as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, you weren't watching Terminator 2 when you're bloody 6 years old. You know, you're watching 101 Dalmatians, and there's Cruella de Vil kidnapping all those puppies and even other animals. Like, she had a load of exotic clothes made from all different kinds of animals, and she always just wanted the Dalmatians.
Yeah. Oh, she was obsessed. It was because it was her. I don't know. Is it her sister or her friend was the woman? You know, it was the married couple that had the dogs. The woman of that couple, either friends or sisters with Cruella de Vil. Yeah,
I think she worked for.
She worked for her, yeah. So I always got the impression
Yeah.
that Cruella was jealous of her and her happy family, and then she just wanted to ruin that. And then she got this idea
Oh.
of, I'm going to take your dogs. That's the way I always saw it. Like a real
Fair,
personal
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. Yeah,
but-
no, that's a good shout, man.
the voice actor for Cruella de Vil in that 60s the original animated film, I can't remember her name, but she is fantastic at being able to portray this evil character. Like yes, she has the ugly face and stuff in the cartoon and all, like you can get it from the visuals, but the voice acting there is phenomenal. One of the best voice acting performances in any animated film, I would say.
Absolutely. She's able to switch it off and on so well. You know, she's
Yeah.
able to be maniacal, but then she could give you this, not like sweet, but like a more mellow tone
Yeah.
as well, in a more manipulative sense. She just really knew how to turn that off and on. Like, it was just very well done. Like.
Yeah, and it was like the inner disgust that she had for people. Like you really felt it. Like it doesn't feel like someone's acting. Like I feel like this is someone just recorded a real person talking like this. It's
Absolutely. Especially with the way she treated her minions. I think
Yeah.
Hugh Laurie was one of them, if I'm not mistaken. No.
not in
no,
the
I'm thinking
original
of it.
one. He wouldn't have been.
No, yeah. Sorry. Jez, he definitely wouldn't have been.
But yeah, it was Jasper and Horace. Was it Horace and Jasper, something like that? The two minions.
I'll check.
Yeah, they were very funny too. But yeah, she stole the show. She was terrifying to not just kids. I think anyone watching that movie now, you'd be like, "Whoa, she's horrible."
I must show Layla that, see how she likes it.
I wouldn't like. I actually wouldn't.
Too
Too young.
Yeah. We'll see. I'll
Yeah.
tell you how it goes.
Yeah. But yeah, Cruella de Vil, 100%.
Yeah. 100%. Cruella de Vil.
Okay. All right. I'll give you two more so.
Yeah.
Do.
Okay. I'm trying to stump you now, actually. The last few ones, you've been just like, yeah, no, we know. I'm like, okay, so we got Darth Vader against Hans Gruber.
Okay. That's Die Hard.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, again, that's night and day in terms of villains. One guy was trying to get rich. One guy was trying to purge the world of Jedi.
Yeah.
And he, I don't think there's did Hans Gruber? He shot one of his own guys, didn't he?
Tactically, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't think he killed any of the hostages, if I'm not mistaken.
Did that one annoying guy? Did he get killed?
Maybe.
You know the guy I'm talking about that was kind of all over
Yeah,
Bruce Willis's wife. Yeah, that guy.
yeah, but was anybody really upset?
Oh no, I
Over
didn't
that
care
guy?
that he. But I'm pretty sure he did.
That's what I'm saying.
I'd be upset
like,
if he didn't
yeah.
get killed. Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the
And
moment.
then like Darth Vader choked out one of his own guys in front of a whole room just to make a point.
Oh yeah,
Don't talk back to me. And he barely talked back. Oh God. The
Darth
punishment
Vader,
did not suit the crime.
terrifying villain.
Yeah.
He's gonna be tough to beat. But I just let's not write off Hans Gruber as just like a average villain. Like he's still top.
No.
Like
Alan
top
Rickman
villain.
did a fantastic job
Yeah, that
portraying Hans Gruber.
the moment where what is Bruce Willis's name is? What is it? John McClane, isn't it?
John McClane, yeah.
Yeah.
So John McClane finds Hans Gruber. They're in the tunnels of the building or in the vents, and he meets Hans, and he's like, and Hans puts on the American accent because he's like the German accent because he's the German character. Then he like switches to an American accent to like, oh no, I'm a hostage, and it's like that. I've never seen that before. That's such a cool tactic. And it worked.
Very smart.
Yeah, it was
Very,
brilliant.
very smart by Hans there on that one, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And good old John fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
But in fairness, it would have been very hard for Darth Vader to put on a voice, with that respirator he got going on.
Just take it off, yeah.
And that itself was so scary. The Darth Vader's breathing for me. Yeah, that was just...
Yeah.
And like the fact that he was still able to speak while it was going on, it just like, how is this man breathing? Like it just asked so many questions for me then.
But yeah, no, I'm with you there. It's Darth Vader for sure. But I just wanted to give Hans Gruber his merits.
Oh no, he needed some time in the sun, 100%.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so the next roundup is Hans Landa, who is from Inglourious Bastards.
Another Hans, yeah. Okay.
Hans. Yeah, I couldn't put the two hands up together.
I totally would have. That would have been a much better debate than Hans and Darth Vader. Like,
yeah, they can't all be winners. Some of these are just like overpoweringly iconic. Okay, and Anton Chigurh. I think I said Chigurh
from No Country for Old Men. Yeah.
No Country for Old Men. Yeah, sorry, I could never say
Anton
that word.
Chigurh.
oh, his voice was so.
This is a tough one now, Connor.
It is.
Yeah.
Like they both had
both
really
make their
bad
movies.
reasons for doing what they were doing. Like, yeah, absolutely. I think that was the first film I actually may have seen Antoine in, or not. The guy who plays Antoine. I can't think of anything else he might be in that I saw before No Country for Old Men. But his weapon of choice, like that bloody, what's it called? Like the
I don't even know what you call it.
it's like an air nail bolt,
Yeah.
something like that. The bolt gun, whatever it is, it's compressed air, and then it's used for like putting down animals and stuff for the slaughter. Like that is a gruesome weapon of choice. But he used that so effectively in such a scary manner. Like imagine just that guy walking up to your door, straight out your bloody lock, and then all of a sudden he's in your house. Like no, I'm sorry, I'm out. I didn't mean to do whatever. Oh no. Oh, it's giving me heebie-jeebies thinking about it.
Yeah, no, he's terrifying. And it's his relentlessness.
Yes.
Like, he just doesn't stop. No matter what you do to this guy, he's coming until he gets what he wants. And that's the scariest thing. Like, oh.
He's a human Terminator, really, at the end of the day. Like.
Just kept coming, like, oh. And it was scary. And the haircut, that weird haircut, just added to the
Beatles
creepiness.
fan or what? Like. Oh no, it was yeah. But then that's it for Hans Landa. Like he used his genius for pure evil.
Evil
like,
genius.
He was a very smart villain. Yeah. And he just knew how to use it. And like, if he was on the Inglorious side, like, they wouldn't have had a big issue trying to track down some Nazis. Like, he would have found them all there and then
No,
for
that's
them.
what they needed. Someone like that. Like he was
Yeah.
fluent in all those languages, and it just meant that no one could like get one up on him. You know, like in those situations where you were able to talk to someone in the same room. No matter who you're talking to, he's gonna hear it. Like, do you know what language?
That opening scene where he's in the Frenchman's house,
Yeah,
talking about the neighbors and stuff who were Jewish. That opening scene is just like imprinted onto my brain for how good it was. And like, why the hell did he drink milk, of all things? Like, that is such a weird ass to like. I've never gone into any one of your houses and gone like, lads, can I get a glass of milk?
have you noticed though?
Obviously.
It's a villain thing.
Yeah,
Villains drink milk. Like Homelander and the
off-putting.
boys loves milk.
That's for different
Yeah,
reasons.
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, the reason for it doesn't matter. It's just saying villains like milk. Whatever, everyone can have a different reason for liking it, but the fact that villains and different things drink milk and they make a point out of it, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, fair. No, yeah, yeah, we did actually talk about that in an episode, but like so bizarre and so good. It's yeah, I think this is the first stump here, Dave.
Okay. I thought they'd happen later on.
I probably would lean towards Hans Landa there though, if I had to pick one.
I would, kind of thinking about it a little more. I probably would lean more towards Hans because his intentions were just closer to pure evil than Antoine was. Not saying he wasn't evil, but like Hans was given a job and he was pretty much giddy about it, and it was probably one of the worst jobs ever to be had on Earth to this day. Like,
But he was good at it. I think that was the thing.
he was too good at it.
Yeah,
Was the bigger
I think
thing
that
for
was.
me.
I think that was his thing. I wouldn't say he's evil. Like if the thing that he was really good at meant good for the world, that's what he would have done, and he would have been the best at it. Like whatever he's going to be best at, that's what he was going to do, regardless. I think that's where he was coming from, and that in a sense is kind of evil because it means you're going to do whatever you you have no moral compass. But I think that's where he was coming from.
Gonna have to Percy.
Go
Okay,
Hans.
Hans. Sorry, I have to move this along a little. Okay, so Michael Myers, not to be confused with Mike Myers.
Oh, be high, baby.
Okay, hi. And Agent Smith from The Matrix.
If I had to pick one, I'd probably go Mike Myers. Michael Myers. Donkey. Just because, like, he was just straight up evil in terms of villain, where Agent Smith was literally just code programmed to do what he was supposed to do. So he wasn't technically real. I know a lot of the Matrix isn't real, but he wasn't real. He was just a man given a job. It was kind of like Hans, a man given a job, but he had no choice in the say. He was just, this is what he had to do. This is the only thing he knew. He just had to do this thing. Just lines of code, really. Whereas,
but again, but that comes.
Michael Myers was going after family, like.
Yeah, but you're going back to the same thing again with the shark. Like just because the shark is going to do what the shark doesn't mean that it's not villainous. You know, like.
Oh no, I'm not saying he wasn't a villain. Like, of course he was.
But it doesn't.
He
but
was
it
working for the.
But it shouldn't just have any
bad
discredit
guys.
at all. Like that shouldn't come into it at all. The fact that he's not a real person or he's like that shouldn't affect the discussion. I don't think.
I don't know. I'm leaning more towards their motives to why they did these things, and that's for me makes them more villainous than.
But you have to pick the thing that you're going to measure one against the other has to be something that can apply equally to both. So if you're talking about reasoning, that cannot apply to an animal or to AI. Do you know what I mean? So it's unfair metric.
It can in some circumstances. Like if you were to look at the Deep, like those were intelligent sharks. Like they knew what they were doing. They weren't like Jaws shark. They were a different breed of shark. Whereas Agent Smith, again, just lines of code. He was doing what he was told to do.
Yeah, no, I know,
But
I understand that, but I'm just saying
Michael
that shouldn't
Myers,
matter in terms of this discussion.
no, I disagree. Let us know down in the comments. But no, I think no motives are massive things for villains for me. Like if a
Do
villain
you
doesn't
think
have a
Neo
motive, what does he
cared?
have? Like,
Do you think Neo and Morpheus cared about the
well, no,
motives?
because they were.
Yeah, because they're in
They-
the situation trying to deal with this thing. The motive didn't matter. They needed to beat this thing.
Yeah, but they weren't discussing about a load of different villains. You know, like
Yeah, but
I'm
I'm
pretty
saying-
sure the people
but the point
didn't
we
care
should-
why
we
Mike
should be
Myers was going
arguing-
around killing people. Like,
But that's what we should be arguing. What impact did the villain have to the characters in their story and to that world? Like, and then compare that to the effect the other villain had on their character in their world. And not say, well, he made the choice to do what he did, so he automatically beats him who didn't make the choice. Do you know that you're bringing it down to a level where there's no real
Motives.
discussion then, like.
I don't know.
Ju-
Like there are like especially when we go
Well, I just
on.
think if
whose motives are
we're
more, like-
making the decision, me and you making the choice, if we're going to say motive, well, then the question's already answered. Then one has a motive, one didn't.
well, to be
But
to be
there's
fair,
no-
I think this one is already answered.
I would say Agent Smith 100% here.
Really?
100%, yeah.
Okay.
He was
explain
so
why, though.
she was so scary. The fact that he could turn up anywhere, he could put himself into anybody. Like in that scene in The Matrix where Neo is like got the phone booth and he's just after killing Agent Smith. It's done and coming back, and then you just see the homeless guy there in the corner come alive, and that he is now Agent Smith because Agent Smith can be anyone. It's like that's
Mhm.
terrifying, and it's like, how do you stop this villain? You know, the unstoppableness of the villain. I think that's the metric we should be really looking at. And Michael Myers has that too, and most of these villains do. But I think that's what we should really be looking at, is how unstoppable are these villains.
I would argue that like there were hundreds, if not thousands, of Agent Smiths, and they were all pretty much put down. But like Michael Myers just kept getting back up, and there was only one of him. You know, he constantly like the pace at which he walked as well. First and foremost, that's terrifying as hell.
Yeah.
Like he was this bloodlusting superhero villain. Jeebus. He was this bloodlusting villain, and like he wanted to kill, and he was moving at such a slow pace, and you're like, oh, I'd outrun this guy. Yeah, but then you take 5 minutes to relax, and all of a sudden he's back on your corner again, and you're just he's not stopping in that sense. And that's kind of why I go over Michael Myers a little more.
But I mean,
because of
you
his
could argue that
ruthlessness.
but he's only scary if you're under 18. Once you become an adult, you're like immune to him.
I mean, yeah, if you want to go
I mean, you know,
down,
that's one
down
way.
that road.
But like, if
But
you're looking
then,
at
like,
those things,
you can
like,
say the same for Agent Smith. Is like, if you're not awakened in the Matrix, then you're fine. He's not going to bother you.
well, if you're not in a certain if you're not in a location where the villain is, you can't be hurt by that villain. Yeah. But I mean, you could be right next door to Michael Myers and be
Neo was
22.
awoken in the Matrix, and that's why Agent Smiths were after him. Whereas if we are technically in the Matrix, and if we haven't been awoken and are aware of the actual real world going on side at this virtual reality, then Agent Smith wouldn't be coming after us in any way, shape, or form.
because he already knows
It
where
was
we
only
are.
the select few. Yeah,
because
but
the
it was-
people who
yeah,
are
but
not
we're
awake,
we're not going to be an
he
issue
knows
to
where
him.
they all are, so he doesn't need to go after them. He goes after the people he doesn't know where they are.
Well, he goes after the people who are a threat to the system.
Yeah, which is anyone who has woken up.
Not necessarily,
Yeah.
because you can also have because there's also the villains outside the VR that go after the whatever they're called. I can't think of their name. I was about to say Skynet there, but that's Terminator.
Yeah.
Those like weird robot things that start hunting them down in the real world in the Matrix. They're there as well to deal with people they don't know of. They're also taking care of the people in the pods. And then Agent Smith just goes after the people because they can't find them in the real world. So he just goes after them when they enter the fake one.
And he is scary.
Yeah, but like, how many do you need? You know, you only need one Michael Myers to make a movie, but you need thousands of Agent Smiths. He's replaceable, in my opinion.
Is he?
Yeah,
Is he?
they're not all the same guy. Well, they technically are.
None
but...
of them are guys, then, really.
What is a guy? Yeah, I don't know. I would say Michael Myers on this one, just because just the pace at which he tries to do things, and he's still like unstoppable. He just seems super strong for no apparent reason. Like, and that mask, that is just a creepy hell mask. Like,
Yeah, I'm not too upset about it. I can go with Michael Myers.
okay,
He's
Michael
not getting
Myers,
any
dude.
further than that, though.
I mean, yeah, if he goes up against Darth Vader or something, like, he's screwed. Like,
No, that's the only
Even
one where I
Hans.
let him win.
that's it. Yeah, depends on who he goes up against. But I mean, to be fair, yeah, he's probably my least liked pick on the list so far as well.
Okay, so I'm going to move this along.
Have we more?
Yeah, there's one more in the first round. So I'm like, come on.
Okay.
First round. Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
We got Terrence Fletcher from Whiplash.
Oh.
And this is an odd pairing now. This is another one that you...
What hasn't been an odd pairing with you, Dave?
What is it?
like, they're all going to be odd anyway. It's Predator. So,
The Yancha
yes.
from Predator. Oh.
Yeah.
One ugly mother.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna have to get that bleeped out.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. We love you, YouTube. You're the best.
But yeah, that's a good. They're two good
Ooh.
villains. Again, like
Yeah,
so
and they're
different.
so different. I was just about to say that they're miles apart. Like, Terrence is really all up in your head, making like trying to get the best out of you, but like, I think he's just doing it for his own enjoyment at the end of the day.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I think there's maybe like enough of the want for others to be successful. There's enough of that in him to justify in his head his behaviors.
Yeah,
but I think it's mostly he's just getting enjoyment out of tormenting people. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas the Predator is just, it simply is that he's just a predator. You know, he's trying to hunt big game. Not a lot of motive really there. It's just that's his culture.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
But again, no more comforting, no less terrifying.
Oh yeah, I'm not messing with a Predator.
Yeah.
Oh, although that scene, which Predator are we talking about?
I do
Like one,
the OG
two?
Predator one. That's
Yeah,
the only
yeah,
one.
Yeah, the OG.
Yeah.
Keep
When
the
he
OG.
starts using, like Arnie's friends' voices and stuff in the woods, like that was creepy, man. That was like, I think it was in Terminator 2. I know we were saying this, but he uses like a kid's voice and stuff to lure people in. Like that is another level of creepiness. Like, they do not care how they get their kill. They will get their kill.
Yeah, they are creepy. For this one, I think I'm leaning towards Terrence Fletcher because
I was kind of thinking the same.
Because I think when you look at that, the emotional drama villain, where it's not someone who's not a killer or not big high end movie, or high concept movies where the villains are doing these crazy stuff. He does that version of the villain the best. I don't think there's anyone better.
And to be honest, I'm kind of surprised to see him on the villain list, but like, thinking about it, I know why he's on the villain list.
No, he's definitely a villain. Like he is, and people will say, "Oh, well, he's not the Joker or Darth Vader," but my God, he's scary
in a
person.
real world setting.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely terrifying, man. Like, if I knew someone like that, I would not be within 100 yards of them any day of the week.
Like
You know,
the only other villain in movies I think is kind of similar to that And I can say it now because there's no more coming up, Dave, right?
No, this is it. This is the last.
Yeah. So another one that I would have kind of put similar to him is Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Like, just a horrid person in a real situation. Like,
he was a person on a power trip, and she just ran with it, and she did not care what the consequences of her actions were. Like.
And Terrence kind of has some of that about him as well. He's got the power, so he can treat these kids however he wants because he knows that they respect him so much that they'll sit there and just endure it. Do you know what I mean? And that, you can feel that he just loves that. So I would give it
he's
to
on
him.
his own power trip. Oh yeah, don't hate us, audience, but I think we're gonna have to put forward Terrence Fletcher for his manipulation techniques.
I think it's brilliant. He's a fantastic villain.
Such a good villain. Yeah.
For the drama.
Did he win
genre.
anything? Jim Joel Williamson? No.
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons. I think you said. I think you actually mentioned like on our very first episode when you were talking about Whiplash. You said like he won most of the awards he was nominated for, like 100 and something.
It was the Oscar episode. Yeah.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think he cleaned up. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
and
He did. Yeah.
Rightly so. J.K. Simmons is an absolutely fantastic African bombshell of an actor. So he was like,
that's what you'll know as well. A lot of these villains as well. The performance of the actor adds to it so much. It's way more.
Stop.
The performance for a villain, I think, is way more important than it would be for a hero.
Yeah, everybody loves a good villain, and that will never change. If you can get a great villain out there, like,
become iconic. Like.
Yeah, he's even in the video game Baldur's Gate 3, and his villain, he plays a villain in that as well, and he's the best villain. Like, he's one of the first you have to deal with, but like he is the best villain from that game. But anyway, Terrence Fletcher from Whiplash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I might shuffle these around a little so it's not kind of straight.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. Who would I put against together? Right, first let's go Annie Wilkes against Terrence Fletcher. I know we just talked about him, but I think that's a solid matchup for now. It
might be because we just talked about Terrence, but I'm still on that boat. I'm still feeling that that's the right choice.
Like, Terrence didn't need to do what he did, but he did it anyway. Annie was, kind of down the wrong path to begin with mentally, and that's why she kind of did what she did.
Yeah,
in my opinion. So
but I'm just thinking of the impact on the movie and on the characters emotionally and physically. But Terrence Fletcher for me has to be for this one.
Yeah, same.
Ready? Oh, okay. Jeez, you were quick off the bat on that one. Okay, let's go. Michael Myers and Cruella de Vil.
Cruella de Vil.
I'm glad you said it.
Like Cruella de Vil, 100%.
And I just need to say, I like Michael Myers. I don't dislike the Halloween films if it has come across like that.
No, yeah, he's he's a great villain, but Cruella de Vil,
all the way.
Again,
100%.
100 puppies over. I don't care how many human lives, but 100 puppies, man. Like.
Yeah. But I don't even think of the dog. I just think of her as a person, and it's like, you are a villain. You deserve to be on this list. You're worse than most of the worst people in the world. Before you even go near the dogs,
don't go near. The dogs.
But don't do that. Yeah, please.
Don't do that. Leave dogs alone. Next.
Okay, so. This might be an easy one. Well, it's an easy one for me anyway. It's Darth Vader versus Hans Landa.
Ooh.
Landa?
They're kind of both on the same side. Like, they're both after genocide, really, at the end of the day. I know I'm kind of leaning Hans because just the way he was doing it, kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
Vader had the Force, he had a lightsaber, he had the respirator. He had a load of different elements making him scary. Where Han's really only used his intelligence, and that's what made him kind of scary, so to speak. Like,
Whoa. I'm actually shocked. Can't believe you said that. And not because I'm leaning anyway, but because I thought you would have been full force on Darth Vader there.
Oh, I see what you did
But,
there.
okay.
no,
Thank you. uh, but yeah, I kind of could like I'm stuck between the two, but I feel like it's against the law to not pick Darth Vader here. Like I don't know, like it doesn't feel.
I mean,
like it feels wrong.
I'll pick Darth Vader just because James Earl Jones any day of the week.
Yeah, but yeah, it feels like that's just the obvious one. But like Hans Landa, I think deserves a good crack at this. He should be a contender, but yeah, it kind of has to be Darth Vader, no?
Yeah, and look, yeah, I suppose at the end of the day,
It's just when you're talking iconic, like
yeah, I mean, you walk into a place and you say Hans Landa, and people are like, who?
that.
Maybe a few might get it, but you go Darth Vader, and they're like, yeah, I know Darth Vader.
That's a
yeah.
really
Met
good
him at the
point,
pub last
actually.
week.
Like, why don't people know the name Hans Landa? Like, what is it about that character people don't remember the name? About,
Maybe it's the times it's said in the movie.
yeah, but then again,
They say Vader every freaking second
everyone knows
sentence,
that,
really.
yeah,
in
and
the
he's
first
shown up
trilogy,
in a
like.
million movies, I suppose. But yeah, but that's the
Yeah.
thing. I think in modern movies in general, if the character's name isn't in the title, you're probably not going to know it actually.
Mm.
But yeah, I'll say we go with
Plus,
Darth Vader there.
Darth Vader being one of the biggest plot twists, Luke,
Yeah.
I am your father. That's still talked about to this day, or people make references or jokes to it this day. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll say Darth Vader. So Dave,
Cool. Okay, so this one's tough for me. It's Thanos versus the Joker.
Ooh.
I wouldn't be able to call it.
I know what I would pick, personally.
I mean, like Thanos wanted to wipe out half the population, but he could have just doubled the resources. So, if he had all that power to like wipe out half a universe with the snap of his fingers, he could have also created twice as many resources required to feed the other half. So in my mind, he didn't fully think his plan through. Whereas the Joker, like, he had contingencies upon contingencies. He was very well thought out, and he knew what his end goal was, and that was to kill the Batman. So personally, I'm going to go Joker.
I'm going to go Joker too, but I'm just going to correct you there. His goal was never to kill the Batman because, as he said in his own words, I don't want to kill you.
Oh, yeah.
What would I do without you? So, just correction there.
Yeah. No, that's fair. But like what was he expecting?
Yeah. So, like when you say he knew what his plan, I say actually no, he had no plan. He's just chaos.
His plan was to mess with
His
Joker.
plan was chaos.
Or
His plan was
Batman.
chaos. As much as
well, that's
and
as good
quickly,
as plan as any.
I'm still picking him. Like he is my pick, but yeah, definitely no plan.
Yeah.
Okay, all right then. So we're into the semi-finals.
Oh, all right. What have we got?
Okay, so we have Darth Vader versus Terrence Fletcher.
Darth Vader versus Terrence Fletcher. Ooh. It's coming to the point now I don't want to knock anyone off, but It probably just needs to be. We don't need to talk too much about it, Connor. I don't think. I'm happy to go with Darth Vader
Yeah.
there and just rip off the Band-Aid.
Same. Just because he had him, like as you were saying earlier, he had a much bigger impact on the world around him than Fletcher. Like Fletcher really had influence over aspiring musicians, whereas Vader had impressions across the galaxies. Like,
Yeah, and he's just an icon. You know, it's gotta be Darth Vader.
Okay, fair enough. So the next is the Joker versus Cruella de Vil.
both of them look equally as crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's real tough. You probably could pick either, but I do have a choice.
That'd be a nightmare of a crossover. Imagine the two of them just like somehow fused together.
Joke.
Like
to fuse together or met?
that'd... No, like the two of them became one person. That'd be... I'd say that topped Vader any day of the week. Like,
I don't even want to imagine that.
and
And we can't mash them together. We can't mash them together and put them to the final. We're not doing that.
No, we're not doing that. No. But if you're good at drawing and you're watching this episode, see if you can do a little fan drawing there. For us.
What would that look like?
I'd love to see
What would that look like? Let us know.
100%. That'd be crazy. I'd probably say the Joker.
I'm happy to go with
myself.
Joker. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Cruella did great, but like,
Surprised you got that far.
the Joker is crazy.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure you all know who the final is between.
Yeah.
Joker and Vader.
Yeah.
Do you have a winner, Connor? Straight away.
Straight away.
I do.
I don't. Who are you thinking? What's your
do you want to maybe
struggling.
talk through it first, rather than hearing my choice, or do you want to hear mine?
I mean, thinking about it on a scale wise, Joker really only affected Gotham. Vader affected the universe, but what Joker did to Gotham, it was crazy. Like Vader would go in and he'd use the stormtroopers and he'd wipe out a village, whereas the Joker, he'd go in and he'd make the village wipe themselves out in some way or another, and sit back and laugh the entire time. And to me, that's kind of so I've kind of talked myself into the Joker.
That's exactly where I am.
Yeah. That's what I'd say. Heath Ledger's Joker over Vader.
That's right. I'm definitely giving it to Joker for me anyway.
Well then, I suppose that's it.
Greatest villain of all time.
Yeah. Great way to start off our spooky season.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, Dave, as always, I hate you for making us do that, but well done.
Anytime. It's my pleasure.
Dave's the villain of the podcast here.
Taking notes here.
That laugh. I just imagine you trying to maniacally laugh and then just break out into a wheezy cough or something.
Yeah, Dave is the villain of the Video Village podcast. Like, he's just there, like rubbing a cat and smoking cigars and stuff.
Oh no. I guess you're wondering why I asked you to record here today. But yeah, so before we tie off this episode, who's got a movie or film recommendation?
I do.
All right, go first, Wayne.
Okay, so I'm going to recommend a new movie that's come out this year. It's an Irish film. It's called Oddity. It may still be in theater somewhere. That's where I was able to catch it. But it's basically about. It's directed and written by Damien McCarthy, an up-and-coming Irish filmmaker. I'm looking out for what he's going to do in the future. But this horror film is basically about this weird house in rural Ireland where a woman died, and then a year later, her twin sister comes to the house to visit. her sister who died, her husband is living there now with his new girlfriend, and weird things start happening. So I won't give too much away, but I really recommend Oddity.
Ooh,
Nice.
Yeah,
that sounds
shout.
good.
yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
liked it.
All right, Dave, who have you got? Or what have you got?
I have a movie from 2002, I think. It's called Reign of Fire. If you kind of want an easy action watch, it's very good. I liked it. It was very good depiction of dragons. Have you watched it? Have you heard of it?
Ring of Fire.
No, I don't think so.
Reign of Fire.
Rain of Fire.
No.
Yeah, so it's Christian Bale and Matthew McConaughey.
Oh wow.
They basically live in a
Yes.
dragon apocalypse, and Christian Bale is in there's like the last of the survivors of humanity, holding off against the dragons. It is what it is.
Yeah.
No,
It's fine.
yeah, I remember watching it.
Is there a scene in that where Matthew McConaughey like holds a sword up against the dragon?
No, it's all guns.
It's all guns.
They chase it down with a helicopter in one
I
scene.
saw that. I have
Yeah.
that image in my head of him like fighting a dragon. So maybe that's wrong.
Yeah, no, it's not set in medieval times. I mean, they kind of take refuge in a castle and stuff, but that's kind of about the extent of it.
It takes place in the distant future of 2020.
Oh God. So now,
When it was released, yes.
it takes place right now.
Where are the dragons? Said Khaleesi.
Yeah, it just looks great. The film. It's
Yeah,
an easy
no.
it's an easy watch. You could just
The budget was good, to be fair.
Ah.
Cool. Yeah, my shout for this week, TV show called Only Murderers in the Building. It started on Disney. I think it's still on Disney, but I think Hulu picked it up, and something like that. I just know the current season opens with Hulu on the front of it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so it's basically about three strangers who live in this New York apartment complex in, I think it's like Manhattan.
I'd
New
say
York?
so. Yeah.
It stars Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez, which is I've never would have seen those three together. Like Steve Martin and Martin Short, yeah, they've been working together for years. Like, but Selena Gomez was a very good addition, in my opinion. To
Very
to the
clever
duo.
casting, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. But they're basically pretty much three strangers living in the same building, and they're all obsessed with true crime podcasts. And then a murder happens in the building, and it's up to them. Well, not up to them. They take it upon themselves to try and solve who murdered Tim Konos. But yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to say. It's on 4-5 seasons now.
It's on season 4 now, isn't it? Yeah. It's a great little show.
Season 4 is currently airing. Yeah, no, it's really good, and it doesn't. They keep getting like the longer the seasons go on, the more celebrity guests they have in it, which is so good. It's really really enjoyable to watch.
The fact that they're able to keep it alive, like it's a premise that should have probably died after the first season, but they're able to keep it alive, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know if they'll get away with another season. I hope they do, but yeah, no, this season is still going strong. I really want to know who the murderer is for this season. But yeah, no, they do it really well, and Only Murderers in the Building. So it's a little more lighthearted. There's a lot of comedy in it to it.
Oh, it's very funny. Yeah,
kind of has a Halloweeny theme.
Yeah,
to it. But yeah, that is really the recommendation for this week. Yeah, so if you want to follow us, you can subscribe here to our YouTube. Like the video if you want. We also have other socials. So Instagram, there's a TikTok that will be starting to be more active in the next week or so. And I believe there is a Twitter. They will all be in the description below, so you can check the link in the bio. But other than that, that is it from Video Village episode 22. So thank you for listening if you're listening. Thanks for watching if you're
Thanks,
watching.
guys.
Watching. Jeebus. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.